In this video, we're going to show you guys how to create and set up your own website completely free on your own computer. All right, guys, we're going to start at the following domain, www.wampserver.com/en. We'll press enter. And this is going to bring us to WampServer. This is a Windows web development environment. And this is going to allow us to create applications already with Apache 2, PHP, and a MySQL database. Another benefit to WampServer is that phpMyAdmin is going to allow us to easily manage our databases. Okay, and then once we click Start using WampServer, we're going to be brought to a download page, which is here. We want the 64-bit version. Here we have an application it wants to fill out in what looks like French, but no need to do that. We can simply hit the direct download link right here. All right, and it's downloading the 64-bit exe. We'll wait for that to finish and we'll come right back. All right, so the download is just finished. I'm going to minimize this for now, and I'll hit Windows key and E to bring up my file explorer. And let's go into downloads and double click our wampserver.exe. On the user account control, let's select yes. All right, this is going to bring us to the setup wizard for WampServer. With English selected, I'll press OK. And we're going to accept the agreement here. We'll press next. All right, we'll press next again. All right, guys, so there's an additional step that we need to take here that's very important. So as we can see, I'm trying to install this, and if I press next, it's telling me that I need to install the Visual C+ packages. Otherwise, it will absolutely not run. And so basically, I just went to the direct link here, clicking the hyperlink that shows up there. That brings us to here. And at the very bottom, it says best way to install Visual C+ redistributable packages. And the best way to do that, according to this, is to use a batch file, which we can run as a single installation. So I'll download that by clicking this link. I'll click download. I'll click this first server, and that's going to download the .zip. So let me go run back over to the other page for the tutorial. All right, so it says download the latest version of the zip file. This archive contains the latest version of all RC, Redis, Visual Studio C++ runtimes, installable with a single click by running the included batch file installer. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. So I downloaded the zip per the instructions. So I'll go back to my download file. I'll right click on this and I'll hit extract all. I'll press extract. Inside of this folder, we have install all.bat. So I'll double click that and I'll press run. You see it's installing the runtime packages, so we'll just let it load for a moment. On this pop-up, we'll need to select yes. On this pop-up, I'll need to select yes as well. Select yes on this pop-up. And we're just gonna keep doing that for all of the pop-ups that it prompts us. All right, and the runtimes have all finished installing. So let's go back to our wizard here and let's press next. As we can see, the error went away. We're good to go. We're installing this directly onto our C drive as well. So we'll press next and we'll let it install. Okay, it says Edge will be used as a browser by WampServer. We can select yes if we want to choose a different browser, for example, Chrome. I'm fine with Edge, so I'll select no. Notepad is fine with me, so I'll select no as well. Okay, here we have a tutorial or an information slide. We'll press next and finish. Okay, so WampServer has officially installed. If I hit my start menu and I type in WampServer, we can see WampServer 64. I'll press enter and I'll select yes on this pop-up. And it's loading the server. Once we're in, we're just going to test it, and we're going to make sure that our web server is working before we move on to the next step. Okay, it says ready. It says all services running, so all good signs here. There's a quick and easy way for us to test it as well. So let's just wait for it to load up. So because WampServer is running inside of Microsoft Edge, we can now test this. We're simply going to type in localhost and we'll press enter. And as we can see, this brings us to our server configuration page where we have access to our aliases like our phpMyAdmin. And again, we can just see all of our server information. So this confirms that our server is working. All right, so next up, we're going to build a real site. For this, we're going to be using WordPress. So let's go to wordpress.org. We're going to go to wordpress.org/download. We want to download and install it ourselves. So we're going to go ahead and download WordPress 6.9.1, which is the current version at the recording of this video. All right, while that's downloading, let's go into our C drive. We're going to find our WAMP64 that we just installed. So if we go to this PC, local disk, WAMP64, we're looking for www. And this is the folder that we want to extract our WordPress download into. Essentially, anything in this folder becomes our actual website. So if I click into my address bar inside of File Explorer, let's simply copy this directory. All right, and then I'll go to my downloads. I'm going to create a new tab here and go to my downloads to find that exe. I'm going to right click and I'm going to press extract all. Now, instead of leaving this as default, I'm going to paste the directory that we just found. I'm going to paste the directory that we just went to, and I'll press extract. We should see the files now populating into this folder once this is done. Okay, we can see the WordPress folder inside of there. So going back into Edge, where we have our website being set up. Okay, let's go back into Microsoft Edge now. Let's go back to localhost. And here we're going to access my PHP admin. And I can simply click into this. During this step, we want to create a new database. Now, before we're able to do that, we need to log in. The username is going to be root and the password is going to be blank. Let's press login. Let's go to databases. And here we're going to actually click to create a database. So I'm going to title this Indigo_Word for WordPress. And in the second tab here, we're going to use collation, which should be at the top. And we'll press create. We're waiting for our database to be created. So we're going to let this load and we'll come back once that's done. All right, so we've got our database. Now we're going to go into localhost /. Again, we're in our Edge browser typing this. And we're going to type the WordPress folder, which is the folder that got created when we extracted it from the zip file. So by entering that, we're going to be brought to the actual WordPress setup page. So we'll select our language. We'll press let's go on this little button here. For the database name, we need to enter the one that we just created. In my case, that's Indigo_Word. Where it says username, let's enter where it says username. We'll use the same one, root, and we're going to leave the password completely empty. All right, we'll press submit here. Let's go ahead and click run the installation. Here we're going to give our site a title. I'll title it Indigo_Word. I'll enter a username, and then I'll enter a strong password as well. We'll also need to submit an email address, and we'll click install WordPress. Okay, and the WordPress site has now successfully been installed. All right, so the website initial configuration is done, and at this point we want to work on getting our website live to the rest of the world, not just locally available from our own computer. And so in the quick menu here, Windows 11, we have an icon for WAMP. So if I click that and click under Apache, we want to click HTTP vhosts config. Let's click that. We're going to enter a new line and we're going to paste the following. You can find this exact text in the description box below. And instead of www, where it says document root and directory, we want to change this to the folder that was extracted into there, which was called WordPress in our case. WordPress. Okay, and then instead of leaving this blank as is, we want to add another / after the www to specify the folder that we extracted in there, which in our case was WordPress. Let's do that for both www/WordPress end quotations. So we want that text entered both on document root and directory. Okay, and then where it says require local, I'm going to change the word local for all granted in all caps. And we can also specify a different server name if we'd like to. I'm going to leave mine as localhost. I'm going to click on where it says file and let's press save. Okay, I can X out of this. All right, so the next step is actually getting this thing online and available to the internet. As of now, this is currently still only available local. We can easily do this by entering our command prompt on Windows and let's type in ipconfig. All right, so we want our IPv4 address or our IP address, which is here, and I'm going to copy that. And now let's go back into our WAMP icon. We're going to go back into that little Apache, hover over that and press HTTP d.configuration. This is going to open up another text editor. And here we need to change the value on a couple of different areas. Okay, so here where it says directory, currently says allow override none and require all denied. Now, instead of this, we're going to type in order deny, space allow, followed by deny from all. Once we've updated that, we then need to update our IP address. Let's go ahead and make a save now. Control S or file save. Then we're going to scroll up and find listen000.80, which is here. We're going to switch this numeric value to our own IP address. Also, we need to find server name. So scroll down until we see server name. And again, we're going to replace this with our IP address, just like that. Very important, file and save. Now we can X out of this. All right, we got a couple of steps left. One is to make changes to our firewall settings. For the ease of this tutorial, we're simply going to go to settings, network and internet. Let's go to Wi-Fi. We're going to go to settings. Up in the top, we're just going to search for firewall. And Windows Defender Firewall, we're going to temporarily turn off. So I'll click turn Windows Defender Firewall on or off. And I'm going to turn this off and I'll press OK. All right, the next thing we need to do is access our router, which usually we can do by simply typing in our default gateway into our address bar. 192.168.1, and if we remember in our command prompt, we had our default gateway here, .1.1. That's going to bring us to, in my case, Google Fiber. All right, guys, so in my case, I actually have to use the Google Fiber app. I am going to screen record this so you guys can see what it is that I'm doing. All right, guys, so now here on my phone, and inside of the network tab on Google Fiber, I need to click to network settings and advanced network settings. This is going to allow me to configure port forwarding. Here, I'll click ports. I'll click port forwarding. I need to add a new port forwarding rule. Okay, or choose a device. So for service here, we're going to select the TCP protocol. I'm going to select custom single port. For the protocol, I'll select TCP. internal and external port would be port number 80. And then we need to point to the IP address. And we're going to type in the IP address. And I'll press save. All right, guys, so for finalizing our own self-hosted website, we want to actually point the domain name that we want to our IP address so that they aren't just typing in our IP address. For this, I'm using Hostinger. And what I've done is I purchased a cheap domain name from Hostinger. It's Indigo. See if I go to the overview tab here. All right, and what I'm going to do is going to go to DNS/name servers right here. And we want to manage our DNS record. Okay, and then for the A record, we're just simply going to point this to our IP address. And we'll go ahead and click add record. All right, so we successfully completed all of the required steps to create and host your own website. At this point, it's about further customizing the site to how you want, and you can basically build it from scratch. Now, one disclaimer we wanted to leave you with is that we actually do not recommend this method. It is a much safer alternative in terms of security to purchase and use a web hosting service. That way your data is more protected and your IP address is not just out there for the entire world to have access to. So that's going to do it for today's video. If you have any questions about any steps, please let us know in the comments below and we'll get back with you as soon as we can. If you're interested in purchasing Windows 10, Windows 11, remote desktop licenses, or a wide variety of other Microsoft software at a great price, be sure to check out Indigo software. We'll have links down below. As our channel continues to grow, we're constantly looking for new video topic ideas. If you have any ideas of your own, we'd love to know what those are. Lastly, a like and subscribe would be greatly appreciated as it helps to support the channel. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you guys next time.